What is going on, peoples? How's everybody doing? I know. Where the heck have I been? Okay, let me get my screen to look a lot more appealing. I'll give a minute to get settled on down. I'm gonna turn my music down for myself so that way I can hear you myself better. Okay. Here. How is everybody doing on this beautiful Saturday? Hopefully you guys have been kicking it back, chilling and everything. But let's answer the elephant in the room. Where the heck have I been? So a lot of things have went down since my last video upload. Just kind of started that way, no excuse making, like legitimate life stuff was going down. So between my last video upload, which I think was in February now, I have gone through a lot of changes in my life. Ended up having a career change, sold the old house. If you see, the setup is a little bit different than how it's always been looking. We ended up buying a new house, moved back to my hometown, and it's been a very big adjustment, and we've had a lot of things going down, and I wanted to make sure that these things were going to be better organized before I started going live again. But finally, I can say that I'm at a spot where I feel comfortable again, and we're going to try to start bringing that content back. However, though, we're going to swap it up a little bit, change some things on up, and just want to talk about it. So, as you guys can see from the title of this video, let's talk about cars and investing. Yes. So, the feedback that I got from the last video that we uploaded was a budgeting video that I made on how to budget buy a car, especially in this economy. If you don't know, the used car market is like crazy exploded because the semiconductors that are necessary to run a lot of the new vehicles coming on up, there's a huge semiconductor shortage right now. And because of that and some other factors whatnot, used cars are really hard to find on lots right now. And because that's the reality, the demand of those vehicles has not gone down, but the supply has. So it's made a lot of vehicles just crazy valuable right now. So I made that video to kind of help those right when income tax was coming on in and stimulus checks were coming on, talking about on the scene. I wanted to make sure you took those opportunities when you can. When I made that video, though, I got a lot of feedback from my community wanting to know more about, what's the better way to buy. Hey, Miss Tally. What's going on, Jamal? Sorry, I'm still trying to get... I'm still not stream smart. I see you guys right here, but I still have to, remember to look. So, if I apologize if I reply to you guys a little bit late, but I do see y'all here. Thank you for stopping on in. We're going to have some good conversations. And, we need to be as transparent and honest when it comes to investing in this particular economy. If you're looking at everything from a doom and gloom perspective, I get it. It makes sense. You're doing what you're taught. There's a lot of things, everybody's about inflation being so high right now, stocks being so low right now, cryptos even lower right now. It's really hard to buy a car. It's everything is just so doom and gloom. It's hard to buy a house. But if you're looking at it from that perspective, you're missing out on so much gainability. It's insane. The potential for you to put a seed of money into things right now and have a crazy return is prime right now. It's so prime that you would have to have a little bit of savviness on how money works in order to really see those opportunities. So what I would like to introduce to the channel is, let's talk about it. Let's talk about how to make those money gains. Let's talk about, not only the car stuff, how to do good things with your vehicles, and, certain kind of maintenance stuff you should keep with your vehicles, because all that stuff is very important. But what's equally as important, because cars are a depreciating value up until this year, and possibly even last year, cars are a depreciating value, and depreciating asset. It's important that you put your money in places where it can make more money. So, first off, let me talk about the channel real quick, and then we'll get right to, let's talk about some investing. Um, what I would like to do, I founded Divinity Customs channel back in 2019. I want to say it's about 2 years ago. And not haven't really done a crazy amount with the channel. But this year I want to change that. I really want to dive deep. Season 2 is going to start in October, and I want to go ham with it. I'm already going to do some stuff beforehand, before October. But when October is here, you're going to be seeing me pretty often. If not, 2-3 times a week on some kind of regular scheduled basis. That's what I've always wanted. But again, with the life changes that went on down this year, I had to kind of postpone things with not. I apologize. But either way, let's continue on with the perspective to, let's seek a stable viewership of the channel. I want to make sure that I bring you guys content that's both interesting and consistent. Right? I don't want to be another crazy Corey Kenshin ordeal. Like, I just disappeared for like 4 months. Corey Kenshin, come back. We miss you. Anyway, and then the other part of this conversation is, like, those of you that are out there that really want to make money in your sleep and want to know, like, how that works, we are going to talk about very, very quickly today. I don't want to be live no more than probably even in like an hour. So let's set some timers about 7:30. Because I don't want to overwhelm you with information. I think that that's a really big problem right now when it comes to talking about investing, is that what ends up happening is that you get very interested, and then you get bombarded with all this information that's all good stuff, but like you can't utilize that because it's just so much to try to remember. The great thing about making a live video, that this is on YouTube, and my reasoning for putting it on YouTube is that it will save itself. You can go back, reference this video, look at what I said. I will, at some point in time, either in the description below or in the comment section, put timestamps about when and what I'm talking about. That way, if you want to kind of quickly go back to it and like, what did he say about this particular website? What should I do? You can just go to that particular timestamp, and then boom, you can get that knowledge back in there. And then you can do your own research. And then maybe you can tell me something, because that's the great thing about investing. No one knows everything. I don't know the best way to invest. I don't know, the only way to invest. There's a plethora of different strategies out there. And I want to hear from you guys, what's the best way you think about going about it. So when it comes to investing, all I want to talk about today is some of the tools that I use. What does it mean to invest? What are the benefits and what are the cons? Because there is no system that has no cons. That does not exist. There are systems, however, that have very, 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 very few, if not minuscule, cons. And at some point in time, we will get to that. It won't be today, though. But I digress. Let me bring you guys up to right now you're on my desktop. I hope that you guys can see this. I'm going to try to bring up some of the things I was looking up. I'm going to scroll it on over. All right, let me know if you guys can see. You should be able to see my screen. If not, then I'm gonna have to change something real quick. There we go. All right. So this is an emptied Robinhood that I used to use. What is Robinhood? So Robinhood is a website that you can download their app, or you can go on their main website, whatever like that, and you can use this as a starting point on how to learn how to invest. The great thing about websites like Robinhood or the app itself is that it's very user friendly. I have my own biases against Robinhood, but we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. Pretty much when it comes to investing, the first thing you want to do is find an interface that is pretty user friendly. I like how the Robinhood app, I think I have mine blacked out. I think you can have it where it's all white if you wanted to. But it's thank you, Aunt Rhonda. I appreciate you. It's simple, So this zeroed amount is how much money you have able to be spent or you have investing. Excuse me, actually, it's just strictly the second thing. What you have investing. This buying power right here, that's the money that you have usable to purchase more stocks or cryptocurrencies. So right now, if I was to click on my buying power and I wanted to add or deposit funds into my Robinhood account, I would click on deposit funds. I would select my bank account, select the amount of money I want to put into my Robinhood account, and then it is immediately available to invest. Now, one thing that you need to watch out for when it comes to investing on not only Robinhood, but pretty much from what I'm seeing, any investing account is that the money that you want to invest is immediately investable, but it does not come out of your bank account immediately. It usually takes between 3 to 5 business days. So make sure that if you have $200 that you want to start investing, that the $200 that you move, you understand that it's not going to come out immediately. It will be usable on Robinhood immediately, but it won't come out of your bank account till a couple days later. Sad to say, I've seen people move money into their Robinhood or Webull or whatever account, and then they end up spending that money, and then they end up with an overdraft. So like, be careful, be mindful. My biggest tip to avoid this: never put your investing bank account where your bills, gas, groceries also come out of. It's a bad idea. Literally, it is totally cool to get a checkings account that you only use to move money back and forth with your investing. Tip number 1, write that down, okay? Get a bank account that you're only going to use for investing. You don't have to get one per site or nothing like that. Like, no, that's, unless you just want to. If you want to be that organized, there's, sky's the limit. But honestly, you really want to make sure that you have at least one checkings account that you can use to seed the money around. I digress. Robinhood's a good one. Prime example. So like, let's say you want to know how much Apple's worth. So we're going to click on Apple. The current Apple share value right now is $132.95. You see right here, we has the 1D, 1W, 1M, 3M, 1Y, and 5Y. These are time frames in between that show the value at the beginning of that time period to now. Okay, so we can go back as far as 5 years and see what a share of Apple was worth on July 8th, 2016. And as you can see, it was worth roughly $24. And right now it's $132. You'd be way up right now if you invest in Apple. As a matter of fact, your money would be up 453%. Okay, like that's a lot of moolah. Dollar amounts when it comes to investing is great to look at, but what really gets you going is the percentage value of return. If you're so stuck on, oh man, I can't afford $132 worth of Apple. See, like, here's the deal. What if that 132 was to multiply and turn like $1,500? You shouldn't be thinking, oh great, I'm gonna earn $1,200. No, your money just multiplied by a lot. Because if you had taken the initial step forward and invested even more money, or just whatever you felt comfortable with, that money is going to times that value at that growth. Don't look at the full dollar amount. The dollar amount is a poor man's mindset tactic that scare a lot of people out of this market. They see the numbers go down, they're like, oh man, I'm losing all this money. You don't lose until you sell. Please, dear God, if there's nothing else that you guys remember today, remember that if you put money into a stock or a crypto and the number starts trickling on down, don't freak out. Stay calm. Okay. Here's the great thing about investing, though, overall, especially if you're a long-term investor versus a short-term investor. So, look, this is a 5-year curve of Apple. It started here. Now, if you zoom in, you can see like there's some dips here. There's definitely some lows. You can go back a year and look at that. It's relatively flat. The beginning of it started at roughly about 93. It got as high as 134, shot down. You see these up and down patterns. Here's the thing about the economy in the U.S. market, and even global economies, in my opinion. Yes, there will be seasons of downs. It's supposed to happen. Not everything can be expensive all the time because it's obtainable. It's unobtainable, excuse me. But overall, look at their value. Overall, it trends upward. Over a 5-year period, if you kept buying on all these lows, whenever they were happening, you would always be on an upend trend overall. Overall. As long as you try to hit those low marks. That's what you should see a low mark and a low value on a stock at. You should see it as a buying opportunity. Not a let's get out of this before I lose too much money time period. No, it's time to buy more of it. Because now you can get that same stock that was worth $130 at 119. That's a discount. You're buying a stock that's worth more money at a discount, and that's how you should look at it. A hungry investor is gonna look at it that way, and don't be so quick to sell off of it, not because it's losing value. No. Do your research. See if that asset is probably going to make a good turnaround. And if it's on a low, buy the mess out of it if you can afford it. Always buy, obviously, within your comfort zone. Well, that's Robinhood. I really like Robinhood. It's really easy to navigate. It's got both stocks on here. It does have cryptocurrencies on here as well. But here are my two big cons about Robinhood. So, Robinhood did some shady mess earlier this year. If you haven't heard about the GameStop craze, hey Granny! Oh my God, I love you so much, Granny. Thank you for coming on through, y'all. That is like the epitome of like my love. Like it is so refreshing to see her here. Thank you for being here, Granny. I certainly appreciate you. But I want you guys to understand that like Robinhood, like anything, is a business. Okay, so there's this huge GameStop craze where these hedge funds were trying to short squeeze Robinhood, and that's just to kind of explain what that is. And I'm going to use some real, somewhat inaccurate, rudimentary terms to kind of make some sense. Pretty much, GameStop was doomed to fail. A lot of companies were betting on it to fail, and they made some pretty high bets. And if it failed, they would have paid, those bets would have paid out to them an egregious amount, a very, very, very good amount of money. But GameStop has to fail in order for that to actually pay out for them. Okay. What ended up happening was that a bunch of other, I don't want to say rich, some of them are pretty well off but let's say a group of guys heard that this hedge fund was going to be doing this to GameStop. So they started buying tons and tons, thousands, if not potential millions of dollars worth of GameStop shares. And the value of GameStop went up. So these hedge funds that were betting on GameStop failing, pretty much they were going to squeeze the last bit of money that GameStop could probably even produce and make it go bankrupt. Now we're in deep, deep trouble because now the GameStop was not failing. And it was worth so much money, you would think, well, that's great because they bought all this stuff. Shouldn't that mean like they're going to... No, they were betting against it. And because they bet against it, they had to pay those people out in order for those transactions, all those amount of GameStops that those people were buying, they had to be backed by something. Well, they were being backed by the hedge funds because they were the ones short squeezing the crap out of GameStop. And dude, it was a huge fiasco. And sadly, one of the hedge funds is a company owner of Robinhood. Like they are directly above Robinhood. They're a parent company of them, whatnot. And what Robinhood did was very wrong. They pretty much froze people's Robinhood accounts and made where they couldn't buy certain stocks. GameStop was just one of them. There was AMC, there was Nokia, it was a bunch of them going on. And I personally don't want to align a lot of my money with a company that can manipulate a market. I think that's wrong. That's, as you can see, as to why there is literally no money in my Robinhood account. They lost my business because I felt like what they did was really wrong. But I still utilize them as a tool when it comes to learning about certain stocks and everything like that, and cryptocurrencies, because I like the way that their user interface is set up. And honestly, for what you guys are going to utilize it for the most part, nothing wrong with it. I have a certain perspective that I want to have with my investing, and it just so happens that Robinhood does not align with it very well. The second thing I don't like about Robinhood, though, is when it comes to cryptocurrency ownership. Did you already talk about stocks? I have not fully gone over it just yet. I'm still in the root of it. This is only one website of many I'm going to show. I don't know if you guys can see all the tabs on the top of my my window that I got open right here, but we're going to go through every single one. And we'll get to it. And if you have any questions, dear God, please ask me. That way I can go ahead and address those ASAP, and that will help out with more potential answers to questions that people might have while they're watching this. Oh no, you're a good girl. Good to see you. Thank you for stopping on through. Thank you. So the deal with me is that I want to make sure that I put my money in places where I can utilize it the most. Robinhood will allow you to buy certain cryptocurrencies, but you cannot trade one cryptocurrency for another cryptocurrency on Robinhood, because technically you do not own the cryptocurrency that you buy through Robinhood. Robinhood owns it. What you do own is the contract to that cryptocurrency. What does that mean? Okay, well, let me show you another website, whatnot, that you can utilize, and then we will compare the two between what you can and cannot do when it comes to particular cryptocurrencies. We will get back to stocks here in a moment. We're going to segue on out for a second. We're talking about some crypto stuff. So here is my beloved Coinbase. Coinbase is great, and it's only gotten better since this year started. Coinbase is a website that you can sign up on, whatnot, and you can buy a plethora of different kind of cryptocurrencies on it. And the beautiful thing about Coinbase is that when you buy a cryptocurrency on Coinbase, if another cryptocurrency is available on Coinbase, you can trade one for the other. Now, there's a tax liability for that, whatnot, but we'll get to that here in a moment. You can not only not do that on Robinhood, but in fact, the ownership of the cryptocurrency that you buy on Coinbase, you literally own it. You own it so much that if you want to put it on a literal flash drive, aka a ledger, you could do that. You could download the cryptocurrency that you buy on Coinbase, put it in a wallet, and then put it on a ledger, and now you have a physical representation of that cryptocurrency. You literally own it. You cannot do that on Robinhood. As a matter of fact, there's another website I'm going to show you guys here in a little bit that you also can't do that on, and I really hope that they get that going, because that is a big cryptocurrency is really big right now, and honestly, anything that's putting limitations on your freedom of expression, on purchasing, selling it, and transferring it is really not attractive. So, yeah, love Coinbase for the fact that you can trade things on out. I'm going to try to get some background music going. I'm sorry, folks. And let me know if the background music is too loud. I like a good bit of ambiance, but not. Let's see. I apologize. Give me just one moment, folks. There we go. And again, let me know if the music is too loud, because I can definitely adjust it and turn it down. Let's see. And I'm going to scooch you up a little bit. Okay, so that's Coinbase, that's Robinhood. The next one we're going to talk about is the big boy, Binance. Binance is awesome. All right, so here's the confusing thing about cryptocurrency a little bit. It's a little confusing, but it's really simple to explain. So not every site that sells cryptocurrencies is it available on. Like every cryptocurrency, that is. Excuse me, it's a bad way of wording it. So there are certain cryptocurrencies you can buy only on Binance and other websites that you can't buy on Coinbase, and vice versa. There are certain cryptocurrencies that are only available on Coinbase that you can't get on Binance. The beautiful thing about Binance, though, and Coinbase is, again, the ownership of those cryptocurrencies, because you can buy them, put them on a ledger, upload them, transfer them to another website. You can do that. You can do that any day you want. That's the beautiful. It's just like cash. And that's really how you should see it to an extent. But it's a cash that has a real-time value. Like, if I ask you right now, how much do you think the US dollar is worth? Most people are going to assume that it's worth $1. And the thing is that, like, that's the one thing about when it comes to physical printed currency, is that it's really hard to guess the value. You're literally guessing, or accurately guess the value of an actual, like, backed US dollar or at any given time. Whereas on crypto, you can literally go on Coinbase, you can literally go on Binance, and boom, right there. It's, you know, the value of it. It's right in front of your face. And right when you sell it at that value, that's the value you get out of it. I digress. Binance, though, I love the interface. All of these, by the way, websites I'm showing you guys do have referral bonuses and stuff. I think Binance is like, if you refer somebody and they start investing, you're backed by like 10 or 15% of whatever it is they invest, or something like that. But no, I can't remember off the top of my head. I think Coinbase has it to where you get like a certain amount of cryptocurrency, like $5 or $10 worth of it for free. Robinhood, I think you have to refer like 3 people, and then you get like a free $5 or $5 to $100 value in a stock or whatever like that. So all these guys come with incentives for you to invest on them. All right, now I'm gonna say this last little touch topic real quick about cryptocurrencies, and then we're gonna go back to stocks, because Well, technically, this actually, what I'm going to say actually affects both stocks and cryptocurrencies. So, listen up. This is very important. When it comes to taxes, a lot of folks are really scared on trading or investing because they don't know how taxes work with it. Okay, so let's talk about short-term selling and long-term selling. Okay, so if you're a short-term seller or long-term holder, however you want to phrase it, whatever like that, short-term is anything bought and sold in under a year. If you buy a stock or a cryptocurrency, or you trade a cryptocurrency from one cryptocurrency to another, you have to pay capital gains taxes on that. Capital gains taxes, though, dramatically go down when you are a long-term investor. What does it mean to be a long-term investor? Well, it's the opposite of a short-term investor. If you buy and sell within a year, short-term. If you buy and sell over a year's worth of time, you're a long-term holder. And the capital gains taxes for a long-term holder is significantly less than it is for a short-term holder. So there are obviously pros and cons to short selling. There are pros and cons to long holding and whatnot. Sometimes you can miss complete opportunities by holding things too long. Sometimes you can actually miss out on a very good game by selling too soon. And then there are those who sell on a panic. You know, I put $1,500 into Ethereum and now it's worth like $1,200. I'm gonna sell it. Well, I only lost $300 before I lose $1,000. You know, and to think about it when it comes to investing, like you can't always look at it that way. It's very important to understand volatility, which means how things go up and down in stocks and cryptocurrencies before you choose to sell or buy anything. Research is absolute king. Ask people, hey, what are you going to do with your next $1,000? What cryptocurrencies are you really want to invest in? What stocks are you really interested in? And if you are, why is that? What have you looked into to make you want to actually get into this? Because by doing that, you in time will get this niche, this great sense of how things are going to go. And it's not always a 100%. There's a lot of hit and misses when it comes to investing. But if you will sit, wait, research, ask questions, you will always win. Mathematically, you will always win. It is very hard to lose all the time when it comes to investing. There are ways, though, to get out of paying a lot of taxes outside of holding things long term. Because being a long-term holder on certain things, again, might not be the best strategy when it comes to certain stocks and certain cryptocurrencies. Some things you need to sell on, but you also don't want to pay 20% worth of your taxes on those things. So let's talk about quickly how a Roth IRA can really help you guys on out. Here's E-Trade, which is not the one I want to show you guys. I also want to show you guys Vanguard. So Vanguard is where I have my Roth IRA set up in, and pretty much what I do, I have 3 different strategies. One strategy that I use when it comes to buying and selling my cryptos or stocks is that once I sell it, I will immediately try to put that money into my Roth IRA to avoid having to pay a lot of taxes on it. I'm simplifying a lot of this conversation because I don't want to get into the complexities of these things. Just know that there are ways that you can sell things in your portfolio. And just real quick definition of what a portfolio is. Your portfolio is what you have your investments in. So I have a Robinhood portfolio. I think you can actually even see the word portfolio up over here with not. I don't know if it's visible to you guys or not. Give a little more detail on what to look for on research. Absolutely. Yes, definitely. Okay, I'm gonna pause what I was gonna say just to answer this question real quick because it is very important. Let's go back to Robinhood. Again, I don't really invest in a lot of Robinhood, but I like their interface. So let's say that you want to be a long-term holder, okay? And you want to put your money to sit in places where you know it's going to just grow over time, even if it's losing values sometimes here and there. Excuse me, I'm sorry, guys. But overall, you know it's trending up. Dude, honestly, I would be putting my money in Apple. Because look at this. Most people see this like, man, this is an orange or a red chart, whatnot. You can see where it started out at this amount and it's going down to this amount. But first off, look at 2 things. At the beginning of this time frame at 8:05 a.m., Apple was worth $133.62. It's worth $132.95 right now. It's lost 30 cents in value, and that's roughly 0.22% today overall. And like you're not gonna miss that whatsoever. But if you look at Apple overall, it's always trending up overall. There are some dips here, right here, right here, and right here, but overall, it's always gaining, which means if you were to have bought it here and have never sold it, even when it was losing value, overall right now, you would still be up. When it comes to doing research, go on places like Robinhood or Webull or any kind of website that shows the history of how that stock is doing, and then choose to put your money there when it comes to long-term holding. When it comes to short-term holding, I can only tell you the strategies that I use. There are a plethora of different ways to figure that out. I typically will go on Reddit. Guys, social media is a very, very powerful tool. And what I mean by that is that typically, if you heard it once, it's just a story. If you've heard it twice, it might be a coincidence, but it might be something you might want to look at. Once you've heard something like 15 times, okay, there's time to put some time and attention to that. What does that mean? I will go on TikTok, I will go on Facebook, I will go on Reddit, and just see what everyone's talking about when it comes to doing anything. Literally anything. Because everything is backed by some form of currency. Whatever it is. You like McDonald's? If you hear about the Travis Scott burger coming on out and everybody's buying Travis Scott burgers left and right, whatnot, it's probably time to go look into some McDonald's shares, whatnot, and see how their cost value is looking. Because that would be a great opportunity to put some money in, and then once the Travis Scott burger goes away and the hype goes down, it's time to sell it. You know, make your money real quick. But like that's just one example of a plethora of different kinds. When it comes to doing research, look for hyped value when it comes to short selling. Seriously, it's such as how long you should hold on a second. Such as how long you should go back over time. Okay, so I think I was actually hitting that without even reading the question. So I apologize. Yeah. To continue on what I was saying. So when it comes to short-term selling, hype is everything. Everyone now knows what Dogecoin is. Why do you know what Dogecoin is? Did you go look up Dogecoin? And if the answer to that question is yes, what made you want to go look it up? Who did you hear it from? Was it bombarding the mess out of you on Facebook or anywhere else whatnot? Probably so, whatnot. And because there's hype behind it, there's value behind it. And that's how everything investing works. All it is when it comes to doing research is putting that ear on out into more places and listening to what everyone is wanting to get behind and back on up. You know, it's Tesla one day, it's Dogecoin another day, Shiba Inu, which is another cryptocurrency like that, Apple, GameStop, AMC, whatever. Those, anytime you guys hear any kind of hype value behind anything, there is money to be made. It's time to go look at it, see its history. I usually will look at what it has done today, how it's been doing for a week, and then egregiously, depending on what that stock is, if it's a big company like Apple, a month is probably too small of a window depending on how much money you're trying to make. I will usually typically go back a year. If I'm really being hungry, I'll look at 5 years. There's a reason as to why Robinhood has it where you can look at a day ago, a week ago, a month ago, 3 months ago, 1 year ago, and 5 years ago. There's a reason for that. It's not by coincidence. It's by complete design. Not a problem at all, Run. I hope that I answered your question effectively. But I want you guys to understand when it comes to researching, all you're doing is listening more. You go to work, you cook food, go to eat something, whatever like that. You go home, you watch TV, or like that. Living a life like that makes it where you don't actually listen to a lot of other things going on in life. If you're so mundane in your routine in life, simply what I mean by research is just listening more often, tapping in and staying focused and aware of certain opportunities to actually make some money. Because it's actually pretty easy to make a good amount of money on not having a lot of money by just simply listening to what's going on in the world. Like when, what's the name of that guy who made there was an AIDS pill that was being sold, and the guy had bought like the contract to own it. It was one of the more successful AIDS pills that you could buy, and he made it crazy expensive. crazy expensive. And when that happened, everything else in the pharmaceutical world went up in value. So like that's the research I'm talking about. It's like, okay, right when you heard that, and then you heard it again, and then you heard it again somewhere else, and someone else about it, oh, red flag, red flag. Something possibly could be in this for me. Let's go look at some pharmaceutical companies and see how they've been doing. And then sure enough, they're all like this. They're all going up. Every single one's going up like that. And as long as you heard about the news fast enough, you buy on the hype, you sell on the news. That's a term phrase that's used so often when it comes to investing, when it comes to short-term investing, is you buy on the hype, you sell on the news. As soon as the reality set in to what this guy was doing and the criminal investigations that were going to be happening to him, guess what happened to those pharmaceutical stocks? They went right back down, and the bubble to what they were creating bursted. And I hope at that point in time that you were hearing all the warning signs that some bad negative things are going down with this person, and you sold and made your money. And then, yes, make sure you set aside money for your taxes. Which, by the way, the price of wings... One second. The price of wings, I wish I could have invested. Are you trying to say things instead of wings? Is that autocorrect? The price of wings, I wish I could have invested in them before they went up. So, is there some kind... Oh, because the food shortage, the meat shortage, is that what you're talking about, Donitha? Let me know if that's what you're talking about. We can expand a little bit. Oh, literal chicken wings. Okay, yes. So if you guys are not aware, prime example, this is the research. It's just literally just talking about it. There is a meat shortage going on. It is not as like category 5 mainstream just yet. There are some discussions about it. Yeah, there are almost $4 a pound. Yes, so like you can see signs like, oh, that's okay, that's perfect. That's a regular way of looking at when it comes to doing your research. So let's say you go to the grocery store and you realize that the price of your goods have gone up in like substantially when it comes to purchasing them, like very quickly all of a sudden, and then you go in to look at it like what's been going on with, I don't know, Tyson. Tyson is a good chicken maker, whatever like that, and then those who live in this area, in the surrounding area, know that Tyson's buying up like farms like crazy around here. That probably means that Tyson is either already into some money or they're finna come into it very soon. Someone should be looking into their stock value and whatnot to find out if there is a potential gain right there, right? And then if you go back 5 years and realize that Tyson is just like this Apple chart right here, they might be a good long-term investing. Because think about it. Wingstop advertising buy stop. I honestly don't know what that is. Yeah, they have a plant in Humboldt. Yeah, they have a plant in Humboldt. They have a plant in where I used to live at over in Huron. It's well, not a plant. They have a farm. Their farms are coming everywhere. They're gonna build a farm out in Medina, and they're like not like a small one. Like they're mega, like tens of thousands of chickens, like tons of whatever like that. But I digress. The dealing is that all it's really important to do right now when it comes to investing is just listening. If you want to be a long-term investor, just listen long-term. Go look at some of these shares, look at some of these stocks, see what they've been doing for the past 5 years. That's a long amount of time. The very minimum amount of time I would look at for a long-term investment is a year. Look at this flat bottom. This is a great place to hold your money because they're relatively flat. If anything, not only are they relatively flat, but like they're up. Like, look, $91 a year ago. They're up $132. That's a 45% gains. That's you almost doubled your money. Like that's great, or at least halved it. And thank you, baby girl. I appreciate you. And I want you guys to understand that that's how you should be looking at when it comes to investing. Don't try to get rich real quick. It's very important to make small gains. Small gains make big goals obtainable. Small gains. Okay. I'm typically not a short-term investor. I was short-term on certain things, on certain portfolios. But overall, I like to do long-term investing because I like to not pay a crap ton in taxes. But overall, I'm not greedy enough to just keep like buying and selling. I want things to grow over time. And I want the stability of knowing that 15 years from now, that the value of these things are going to be more than what they are right now. and a lot of these things outpace inflation. So like as inflation has gone on up, whatever like that every year, these stocks and values have they are worth more, obviously, than they were then, but they're worth more than the rate of inflation would have put them at anyway. So you're still on top, and it's great. And you can't do that in a checking and savings account. You can't do that. You literally cannot live life mundanely to the point where you just get paid every Friday or every other Friday or once a month. God bless, that'd be terrible if you can pay once a month. But hey, that's reality for some people. And I apologize for that. I don't mean to insult. But my deal is that if you're just taking that money and putting it in a bank account and letting it sit there, you're letting someone else use your money. I'm going to define that, show you guys one more tool that I'm going to use, but not, we're going to wrap things up real quick. When you have a savings account, you are paid interest on that savings account, okay? Who wants to guess what the average amount of return you're going to get on your savings account is? I will literally wait. I will wait for an answer. Just give me a percentage. Is it 1%, 10%? What do you guys think? What kind of percentage do you guys get? I got 0.01% from Miss Tally. What is the average rate of return on a savings account? The interest rate. I'm going to get some beats going too while you guys. Let's see. Yeah, so here's the deal. It's pretty insulting. You guys are either right on the mark with certain banks, or sometimes even higher than, like, the numbers you guys are giving are high numbers, and it should never be that way. This is what happens with your money at a bank. So let's say that you are really good at saving up money. You've been saving for about 10, 12 years. You've got $10,000. You want to put it in a savings account because you know that at least in a savings account, it's secured there. No one can just up and just steal it. And the perk is that the bank's going to pay you for having your money there. Oh my goodness, it hurts to talk about this one, not because I do this so often, and a lot of people still do what they feel comfortable with, and that's fine. But it's very important to every now and then step out of your comfort zone. That bank on average is not going to give you hardly anything out of it. Most averages that you're going to get out of your bank account, your savings account, excuse me, is like 1/4%. Some banks will give you 0.1%, which is what, 1/10%, which is like that's insultingly low. Because what they're going to do with your money, they're going to take your $10,000. Do you ever wonder, or maybe you just thought that banks just have an infinite amount of money? Do you ever wonder when you go to a bank and get a loan, or you ever get a loan for anything, car or whatnot, where that money comes from? Well, it's pretty simple to understand this. That money comes from all those savings accounts from all their members and accounts. Okay? That's what happens with your money. It gets loaned out to other people. And if it don't get loaned to other people, the banks literally just invest that money. And they make huge returns because banks are a lot smarter than we are, and they know where to put these stocks and values. They know they buy option tradings, which one day we'll talk about option tradings, whatnot like that. It's very important. You guys should definitely look into it, and we will be talking about that sometime on the channel. In between talking about car stuff, modding stuff, maintenance stuff, we're going to be talking about how to do option trading because it's actually very, very important. When and if you know you should talk about the life insurance, which is better, term or whole? I tell you what, I won't bring that up today, but I will absolutely make that a discussion to bring up in a stream. As a matter of fact, I will have a dedicated stream that will only talk about life insurance. Because here's a perk for me talking about it. I used to sell life insurance. I literally know how it works. In order to legally sell life insurance in the state of Tennessee, you have to be licensed to do it. In order to be licensed to do it, you have to take classes and pass it and actually obtain your license that way. Like, you have to pass all these tests and do all the studies, and you have to show credits of you studying for all this time, whatever like that. And yeah, I learned a lot when it came to life insurance, and we will definitely have a stream talking about that. That's what I'm interested in. Is that options trading is like It's the bees, man. It's the bee's knees. It's good stuff. But we're definitely gonna talk about that because you can make a lot of money on option trading. You know, we're gonna talk about, you know, doing puts, holds, sells, yields, all of it. It's gonna be great. My dealing when it comes to investing though right now is that leaving your money in a savings account is a terrible idea. Terrible. It is. You're doing yourself a disgrace by just making all this regular income and you're not letting your money make money for you. Like, rich people buy assets that make the money. We can do it too. You can do it on the regular with the money that you already make. And now I'm going to introduce one place I do not want to promote this last one just yet because technically to me they advertise themselves as a savings account. I'm gonna go ahead and just click on it. Hold on a second. So this is Outlet. Okay, so everyone knows what a Roth IRA is, and if not, again, I will have a dedicated discussion about what a Roth IRA is versus a traditional IRA is. We will have that discussion. But what I like about Outlet takes those same ideals that the bank does, and they do that with cryptocurrency markets. And they give you 9% return on the money that you leave with them. Because you can stake your crypto. Staking crypto is the same ordeal as putting it in an investment. Except that instead of getting paid in cash, you're getting paid in whatever that cryptocurrency is. Outlet is cash. I put $100 in Outlet, and it pays me 9% of that value of the year amount. It pays that amount out in a month. Every month. I mean, like, guys, 9%. 9%. There is no bank that you can go to right now and get a savings account with and get a 9% return. Yes, I have a good amount of money invested into Outlet. Now, notice I use the word invested and not sitting with Outlet. Outlet advertise themselves. Connect your traditional bank account and plug in Outlet. They advertise themselves as a alternative savings account. It is an investment. Period. They are not backed by the FDIC. They are not backed by other corporations that we usually you would be very normalized and used to whatnot and find security with. It's an investment. But it's a very stable investment because they invest in a very stable coin. And if I'm not mistaken, it's Tether. Okay, ready for Outlet right now. What I gotta do. Okay, so I'm honest with you, like, in just baby steps. I put a good amount of money into Outlet, whatnot, but honestly, I would honestly tell you to put a small amount first, see how you like it, and if you're very comfortable and you want to start investing a good amount of money, then do, you know, pretty good dumps over time. Okay, I would not go all the way in like that, like, because I wouldn't do that on even investing. I wouldn't take my entire life savings and put it all on Dogecoin. I would have probably made a lot of money this year, a ton of money, but I also could potentially have lost all my entire life savings. Outlet, you set it up, you open an account, it doesn't cost anything, there's no membership or nothing like that to it. You set it on up, guys. You put your money in there and it just grows. I am going to show you a little bit. I can't show you the whole screen because I don't want you guys to see too much of my personal information, but I'm going to show you a little bit what Outlet's been doing for me. So I'm not ready to go just yet. Siri, don't tell me stuff like that. So I'm going to show you the earnings as far as the percentage. I'm going to cover this part up so you guys don't see that. So, see that? Okay, let me know if you guys can see that. It's got to focus real quick, so give me a second. Come on, focus. It's not going to do it. Well, I'll tell you this. I have a certain amount in my Outlet, whatever. And the great thing about Outlet is it has a live interest calculator on there. What does that mean? So as soon as you put a penny in Outlet, the amount that you're going to get paid out immediately starts to be calculated on the screen. Yeah, I'm sorry. I really want to show you guys that whatnot. I would show you guys on my screen on here whatnot, but there's a lot of personal information that I don't want to share just yet. But it is very easy to understand. You guys just download the app, put your information in, identify yourself as you have to legally do with any of these guys, put some money in, and just watch it grow. And then when you're ready to invest, take some money out of that outlet account or like that as it's been growing. Use the money that it has been making to invest in. That way you don't use your actual money. It is technically still your actual money, but it's not money that you had to actually go work and earn. You're just taking the money that you already had that grew on interest. You're taking the interest out and you're investing it. You're making money with making money with making money. Like, guys, there's, and that's just one way of doing it. It's just one way. You can stake cryptocurrencies. You can flip on trades. There's a plethora of different strategies out there. But again, to not overwhelm you, I don't want to go through every little bit of detail. Yeah, you're welcome. Trust it. I absolutely love it. I think that when it comes to investing, you should be excited. Like, you should be excited, and you should always make sure you set. Last little tip, promised. Make sure you set aside 1 hour, one whole hour at the bare minimum a week to just look into what's going on investing wise. 1 hour. That's all I ask. If you do that 1 hour every week, you will become you'll become 10 times more money savvy than you were not even a year ago. Okay? It's very important that you guys take the time and look at how things are trending. Download Robinhood. I didn't even go over Webull yet. You download Webull, whatever like that. Look and see how things have been going. Webull is just like Robinhood. Actually, the interface is very similar. I trust Webull a lot more right now than I do Robinhood. I just have my Robinhood already set up on here, so it's easy to show you guys kind of how it works. That's a good idea. I was thinking about finding something to invest money in with the money they are giving out on this advanced child. Oh, apps, girl, look at you. You getting ahead of the curve already. Yes, if you guys are not aware, there's a child tax credit. It's going to be paid out to parents. Children between the ages of 0 to 5 will be paid, under 5, will be paid $300 a month in child tax credits, and children over the age, not a problem at all, Rhonda. I'm glad that you guys were here to hear it, and I'm very glad to say it. Children over the age of 5 to 17, if I'm not mistaken, will get paid. Their parents or guardians will get paid $250 per child. Guys, if you don't absolutely need that money, put it somewhere where it's going to grow. Like, it's literal free money that's going to be given to you for being a parent. And if you absolutely do not need to utilize that money on the absolute, invest it. And be fair, if you can be ethically fair, and invest that into your children. Like, put that money back for them too. Like, put some back for yourself to keep growing, and put some back for them so they can grow. Because imagine how much better off your kids will be when they get out of high school and there's like $10,000 waiting on them because you actually were responsible with the money that you got for them. Like, it's income tax season every year is just a great time to make a lot of money. And if you get that nice, good $3,000, $6,000, some people get $11,000 on income tax returns, and it's gone by the end of the year, and you're just waiting for the next income tax return, dude, the amount of money you could have made with 10 grand, $300. If you got $300 dedicated every year that you can make, and you know it's going to come on in, and you don't absolutely need it, do you not know what you could do with $300 over 40 years? That's a long time. That's a lot of compounding money. And it's very important you guys see it that way. That's a good idea, especially since some people still haven't gotten their income tax refund back. Yeah, absolutely. And be smart with your money. If you need it, eat it. If you need it, eat it. Like, that's what it's made for. However, if you don't really need it and you're good, you have other forms of income that's paying you guys to feed off of and survive off of, invest that money. Do not go buy a TV or blah, 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 unless you just absolutely just need a new TV. And that's great. There's nothing wrong with buying frivolous things every now and then. Just don't do it so consecutively to the point you use the money that you should be investing and just buying stuff. And let me make sure that I'm not over my time, because I said I don't want to do. I got 2 minutes, so I'm wrapping up officially right now. Thank you guys for coming on through. I certainly appreciate you stopping on by. The future goal of the channel is that we start talking about more investing stuff. We highlight good investment opportunities, both on the stock side of things and the cryptocurrency side of things, and that we also take a highlight to look at our vehicles. That's what this channel is about. This is a car channel at the end of the day. But in order to really have a good car running very great, you need good financial savviness. So yeah, because cars are expensive. If you didn't know that, they are. Not only to buy them and own them, but just to keep them up. So you might as well know how money works so you can do that a lot more effectively. See, it all works together. Yeah, that's right. But guys, it was great seeing y'all. And I should be live. Oh, since it's my last minute anyway, I will be going live the second Saturday, Lord's will, the second Saturday of every month at 6:30 p.m. every month to talk about investing. You're welcome. Every second Saturday, 6:30 p.m., Divinity Customs will go live. I will answer your questions. I will give advice. And I hope to get some advice from you guys if you have it to give. Just to talk about investing. Okay? And I honestly hope to see you guys on the next one. Peace.